Hey everyone, welcome back to Autonomy Farms, and today we're going to be getting into a new video. And before we get into the video, please go on and click the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Let's go on and get into the video. Well, hey everyone, welcome back to another Wildwoods Beekeeping Monday night podcast. Thank you all so much for joining in tonight. We already have 8 folks in the chat. It is still early, so we'll give some people a little bit of time to join in. I'm sure people are still kind of getting used to this time change. I know I'm still trying to get used to it. So right now it'd actually be 7. So I've kind of switched my times from 7 o'clock back down to 6, as a lot of you know. So it's really going to work out really well, because right now it would be 7 in the previous time. So, I mean, I'm kind of liking the 6 o'clock start time, and I think it's going to work out really well. Not just because I wanted to kind of bring it down a little bit for myself, but, you know, it's still going to work out really well, since, you know, the previous time would have been 7. So thank you all so much for joining in. We're going to give you all a little bit of time to join in. Make sure to click that thumbs up button and share this stream out. Tonight's chat, the topic for tonight is going to be about beekeeping hive styles. I hope I worded it right. No really good way to write it, but basically what I'll be talking about is the different styles, like Langstroth, the top bar hive, Warre, the flow hive. And there are some on this presentation that I will show in a second that I kind of missed. So I do apologize. I know some of y'all might kind of notice that there's some that I forgot. It's just kind of hard to put every single style on there, just the main ones that most beekeepers need to know about. So I want to welcome in everybody. I really do appreciate y'all joining in and spending some time on a wonderful Monday night. So I forgot to get my temperatures, because every week I always put up my temperatures. I forgot to do that. I'm kind of running a little late here, but I kind of cut on time. We have Richard, Russell. Thanks for checking in, Russell. The regular folks in here tonight: Mike, Sarah's Happy Hives 1828. Sarah, thanks for checking in. Bees Nuts Honey. I think Bees Nuts Honey. Chris, I think that's your name, Chris. Hopefully that's your name. I don't really remember well. But hey, Grayson, hope you're having a great Monday. Thank you, and I hope you are too. Pastor Larry and Miss Jan, thanks for joining in tonight. Kodiak Farm Bees, Lee, thanks for checking in from Louisiana. I think we got everybody. There we go. So you are correct, Sir Chris. I believe I thought that's what it was, because I know usually on your name it'll say Chris. Now on the StreamYard it doesn't show Chris, but in YouTube it does. Kind of weird. So I don't think I have anything else really to update y'all on. I do kind of want to mention that if y'all don't know, my times of the live streams I changed them. It's going to be 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern instead of 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. So there's a difference there. And my videos, the video styles, like the vlog videos, I will most likely not be doing many of those anymore. It's just getting to that time of year where there's really nothing going on and nothing to do, nothing to really talk about, nothing to really go out in the bee yard. It's kind of boring. So as y'all saw in my last video, it's more of how to, it's for advanced beekeepers, for intermediate beekeepers, but it's like teaching videos. So I'm switching to teaching videos. So you'll kind of see more of those, and you will see some vlog videos. Don't get me wrong. Just mainly mainly teaching videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my presentation here, so we can go ahead and get started on the topic. I do apologize. I kind of need to get everything popped up here. Let me get into the slideshow. There we go. There we go. That looks good. I discovered diamond painting to beat the winter logging. Get you. So I'm gonna full screen this here. So by the way, many of you will be joining in later because it is still early. It's 6 minutes in, so many of you are still not in here yet. So if y'all will, for any people who are coming in, you can let them know that I will not be reading the comments. I will be on a different browser, focusing on this topic. I will come back later and revisit the comments that y'all comment, questions. Feel free to leave questions or bring up topics or anything you would like. Feel free. But I will not be able to read them, so don't think I'm trying to ignore you whatsoever. I'm just kind of I'm on a different browser and will not be able to see your comments. And it's just so I can concentrate on my presentation. So the topic for tonight, as everybody knows, is beehive styles, layings, topar, Langstroth, Warre, flow hives, and more. Number one, we're going to start with the most common hive out there that most beginners, most advanced, and most intermediate, and most commercial beekeepers use, and it's the most easiest, in my opinion, is the Langstroth hive. This hive is the most widely used in the modern era, the modern beekeeping era. It uses boxes with removable frames, making inspections and honey harvest pretty easy. This design allows beekeepers to expand or reduce the hive as the colony grows. You can do a lot of different things with it. That's why you have a lot of management styles, as we talk about that. A single brood management, double, where you have double deeps, a single and a brood box. This hive, the Langstroth hive, is commonly used by both hobbyists and commercial beekeepers worldwide. And if you are a beginner out there, before we even get deep into this presentation, most beekeepers, including myself, would recommend the Langstroth hive. So before, I'm going to go ahead and get back to this one. So let's first start out with the outline. If you really don't know much about the Langstroth hive, we're going to start with the top. We're going to start with the bottom. The stand, you have your stand. Then you have the bottom board. So the stand, you have a whole bunch of different options. I have a post, and then I do it very specific, so I can't really explain how I do my stands, but you can look on Man Lake and other places, and you'll find stands out there. Then you have your bottom board with your entrance reducer. You have your deep. This here says a deep super, but we really don't call it a deep super, but you can call it a deep super. It really don't matter. A deep brood box. That's your brood box. That's where all your bees will be. That's where the brood will be. That's where the pollen, and that's where the bees mainly cluster. Then you have your honey supers, whether it be 1 or 2 supers, 3 supers. Many beekeepers over winter will leave multiple supers over winter, and the bees will go up there once their bottom stores and the brood box is gone. Then you have your queen excluder. Most of y'all know everything here, just kind of going over this for beginners. The queen excluder keeps the queen down into the bottom box and keeps the queen from going into the super and laying eggs, which most beekeepers don't want eggs in the super. Then you have your inner cover, which really helps with ventilation, especially in winter and in summer. Both have their ways in each seasons. And then the outer cover, and that's your outline of the Langstroth hive. The advantages of using these Langstroth hives, number one, easy to inspect for pests, brood, and honey stores. It's really standard parts, which make repairs and replacements very simple. Produces high honey yields and supports strong colonies, and compatible with most modern beekeeping tools and accessories. So everything in the modern era of beekeeping is circled around the Langstroth hive, and that's why most beekeepers want to use one hive, one certain style instead of using a whole bunch of others, because you need compatible parts. Challenges. Number one, heavy boxes. I mean, that's really with everything in beekeeping, because boxes are heavy. Can be difficult to lift when full of honey. It is heavy. I mean, you got to be strong to lift them. It does give you good exercise if you're looking to exercise. Beekeeping um, does help your arms whenever you're lifting, and your back whenever you're trying to lift these heavy supers. Supers can be 40 pounds, depending if they're a shallow or a medium, or even a deep. They can be 40 to 60 pounds. Requires more equipment and investment, and frequent inspections can sometimes stress the colony if done too often, and that's not really because of the Langstroth hives. That's really because of the beekeeper. But these Langstroth hives do allow you to do whatever you want. So as a beekeeper, you do have to be careful not to overstress your colony, and don't overdo your inspections. The beekeepers. That's the beekeeper's problem. Number two, now we're kind of getting into some of the other hives that most beekeepers don't use, and this is probably where most of you probably find a little bit more interest in. Number two, the top bar hive. Most beekeepers know what this is. This is a horizontal hive where bees build comb naturally along wooden bars. It mimics the natural shape bees prefer in the wild, and is often used by beekeepers focused on natural or low intervention beekeeping. Easy to build and manage without heavy lifting. So these are beekeepers who who are focused on natural or low intervention beekeeping. Not really going to go too deep into the history. There is a lot of history in these hives, and it's really interesting. So maybe there might, maybe in a future video, maybe I'll do each separate hive, because tonight, if I did each separate hive, it would take forever. Just kind of going over the basics and kind of what the challenges are, advantages, and kind of what they are. But I might do some separate videos with each hive detailing the history, because there's a lot of history with hives, because the beekeeping industry has been here for hundreds of years, dating back. So the advantages of these top bar hives are gentle on the bees, minimal disturbance during inspections, no need for foundation or heavy boxes, as you can see in the picture. You don't need foundation, and is ideal for smaller backyards and warmer climates. So these hives here are not ideal for commercial beekeepers. They're ideal for backyard beekeepers, or maybe a beekeeper who's very small and just kind of wants to play around with some other hive styles and have a little bit of fun. Challenges. Natural combs are fragile. That's the biggest thing for this hive and other hives that don't include foundation, is they're really fragile, and you have to be really careful whenever you're inspecting, because if you're not careful when inspecting these frames, they can break during handling. You don't get as much honey than Langstroth hives, because Langstroth hives are more ideal for honey production. These hives aren't really ideal, because you don't have supers. You can't stack boxes. It's just this um, horizontal hive. So you can't really extract those frames. You have to basically I think what you'd have to really do, the ideal way of doing it, is just take the comb off and then just, I guess there's multiple ways you can squeeze it in a bag and filter it out. Um, but you're destroying the comb. It's not really the way you can do it with supers, because supers you can extract the frames in a extractor, and you can salvage the comb and the frames themselves, and they don't really have to go over and do it again. They do have to fix it, but still there for them to. It's a little bit of a head start. And also harder to find parts or replacement equipment because these hives aren't as used as Langstroth hives because, I mean, the in the modern era of beekeeping, as we've talked about before just a little bit ago, the Langstroth hive is the way to go, and that's what most beekeeping equipment, extractors, etc., is kind of toward to is the Langstroth hives. So number 3 is the Warre hive, another one that I'm sure everybody has heard of the Warre hive. Most beekeepers don't use them, but some do. Um, Actually, this one right here has some really good history. Um, what was his name? So the Warre hive, Warre is actually the person's, I think his last name. This would be interesting to do some history on in a video. But these are designed to mimic a tree cavity. This is the reason why he even designed it, was because he was trying to figure out a way where bees could live like they naturally would. These boxes are added from the bottom, letting bees build downward like they do in the nature. Oh, oopsie daisies. Often chose these hives. The Warre hive is often chosen by beekeepers who wants a hands-off, natural approach similar to the top bar hive. All right, advantages. This hive promotes natural comb building and healthy colony behavior. Simple design and small footprint requires fewer inspections and less interference. Challenges. Difficult to inspect, brood, and monitor for mites like any other hive other than the Langstroth hive, which it is able to be done, but just a little bit more challenging. Not compatible with standard beekeeping tools. We've already talked about that before. Most equipment is centered towards the Langstroth hive, not really Warre hives and top bar hives. There is equipment out there, but you have to stick on one, or you're gonna have to go out if you're having multiple styles and you're wanting to do the same thing with each. You're gonna have to find different tools and different beekeeping equipment for each hive, and it can be kind of difficult. So I would suggest to go down on one style. And honey harvesting can be messy and time consuming, just kind of like the top bar hive. All right, number 4. This was kind of one I kind of wanted to talk about, the flow hive. This is a modern hive, a modern take um, on the Langstroth hive with special flow frames. This allows beekeepers to harvest honey without opening the hive. And the honey flows directly from the frames into jars without disturbance. So you don't have to extract, with extractors and all that. So the advantages is honey harvest is pretty simple. It just flows right into the jar. It can reduce stress on the colony during harvest, and is really good for beginners who want a easier experience. Before we get into this next one, make sure to click that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you click that like, it really does help this live stream get out to more people, and I always really do appreciate that. So the challenges, the cons, you could call it challenges, advantages, or you could call it pros and cons, whatever you really want to label it as. The biggest one to me is these flow hives are so much more expensive than the traditional Langstroth hives. Flow hives are pretty much Langstroth hives, but the only difference is the flow frames. That's the only difference you have in that flow super. That bottom super that they include, nothing different. It's pretty much just a regular Langstroth deep. The only difference is that super. Plastic frames may not appeal to natural beekeepers, And bees still require regular management. It's not a set and forget hive. This hive right here, the biggest thing that I see beekeepers, at least newer beekeepers, not most of all of us intermediate, advanced beekeepers, whatever you want to label it as, know that no matter what hive you have to inspect them to and manage them to some extent. These hives, a lot of people, beginners, think that since you got a flow hive, you don't got to do anything. It sets a precedent that you don't have to inspect your hives. You can just set there. You can set that flow hive there. Easy. All you got to do is set your jars there, let the honey flow out, and you're done. But that's really not the case. So if you're a new beginner out there and you have a flow hive, make sure you inspect. Do what you would do with a Langstroth hive. The only difference here with these flow hives are the super frames, the flow frames. And I want to get back to the expensive part about these hives, and this is why you never see commercial beekeepers switch to only flow hives, is the price of these hives. I think they're like $1,000 for one, and they're really, really expensive. So, for commercial beekeepers who are doing extraction, who are harvesting honey, this is not a good way to extract honey. So that's why they just do the old-fashioned way of using a extractor. So there are some challenges and pros to the flow hives, both good and bad. Number 5, the Layens hive. This one is not. I think I've seen a lot of beekeepers use them, and the Layens hive is a horizontal hive with deep frames designed to mimic a hollow tree cavity. This was originated in Europe and is now used by natural and low intervention beekeepers worldwide. Designed for minimal inspections and excellent winter insulation. Ideal for stationary beekeepers, not really intended for migratory or large-scale operations. Like we mentioned earlier, a little bit harder to manage these colonies like commercial beekeepers have to do. Advantages. These deep frames give bees plenty of the deep frames that these Layens have give bees plenty of uninterpreted brood space, similar to natural nesting. Excellent thermal regulation keeps bees warm in winter and cool in summer. Requires fewer interventions and inspections, reducing stress on the colony. Easy to work from the side. No heavy lifting of stacked boxes like the Langstroth hives. These are deep frames, as you can see in the picture. I don't know about the dimensions from side to side. I think they're pretty similar to what Langstroth hives are. They just are deeper. Challenges of the Layens hive are non-standard equipment, harder to find frames and parts in the U.S. like every other hive out there, other than the Langstroth. Limited honey yield compared to Langstroth setups. Not ideal for beekeepers wanting frequent hive inspections or frame swaps. Heavy to move once full. Best for permanent apiary locations. Because whenever you have your Langstroth hives, if you're moving your Langstroth hives, you can do it one by one. You can do it, in full. You can do that. I've seen a lot of beekeepers do it, by the way. But I think I've done it multiple times. Where you just kind of, if you're moving it a couple feet away from the original location, you can do each box by itself. But anyway, those are challenges of the Layens hive. Let's kind of move over here to the Layens frame, as you can see. You can just kind of look at it. The original Langstroth frame is kind of cut right there, and then you can see that extra the new wax bees built. That's what a Layens frame looks like. You can look at it and see where the original Langstroth frame would end. So it's pretty much double what a regular frame is. So it'd be like, I guess you could see it as a double deep. So as I mentioned a little bit ago, that it's really hard to get every single type in here because there's just so many out there. It's just kind of hard to put every single type in here, and I'm sure a lot of you might notice that there are some that I missed, and some that are that that I missed. You can let me know if there's some others that you know of, but I do apologize if there's some others I missed. But here's just some other types of hives. So number one, you have observation hives. These let you watch bees up close. Perfect for education. You see these a lot whenever beekeepers are kind of wanting to educate the public so they can get up close and look at them. But these observation hives have windows, so the bees don't get out. A nucleus hive, nukes. These types are pretty much a Langstroth hive, but just kind of cut in half, are smaller colonies used for splits, queen rearing, and nuke batteries. So if you have a 5-frame nuke, you can put that right into. If you lose a queen, if one of your other colonies in your hive lose a queen, that nuke, that battery, you can just put that nuke inside there, and with that queen. Well, that's what Ian Stepler uses them for. Custom hives like queen castles or swarm traps serve special purposes in beekeeping. There's a whole bunch more custom hives, but we can talk about more on a different day. But when we get back to swarm traps, most swarm traps, people use Langstroth hives or nukes. But I'm sure they use others as well. So this is comparing these hive styles. I mean, it's kind of hard to look at it. You just kind of have to really look close at it. It's I'll kind of go through it so y'all can just listen to it. It's kind of hard to look at it. I mean, it's just kind of offsetted. So the hive type Langstroth, honey yield high, ease of use easy, cost not really expensive, but it's not as high as the flow hives. Um, Bee disturbance, moderate. That's really the beekeeper, not really the hive itself, really. And the weight, heavy, because you have heavy supers. The top bar hives, honey yield, medium, easy of use, pretty easy. Cost, I mean, not as cost, I would say. Um, but the bee disturbance, low, weight, light. So you can kind of go through the others and you can kind of get an idea of what this kind of chart looks like. It changes all the time, but kind of go down. I'm not gonna go through every single one, but the flow, the honey yield, kind of same as the Langstroth high. The ease of use is very easy. But the cost is what drives a lot of beekeepers away from the hive. But unless if you're a small beekeeper and you just want to get one of them, or maybe even if you're a big beekeeper, just want to get one of them, it's okay, but you just can't really get a whole lot of them. It's the money stacks up quick. So 20 hives, 20 flow hives would cost $20,000. That's a lot of money. Then the Langstroth hive, if you got 20 of them, how much would it be? Maybe 1,000 at the most, 700, 800, somewhere around there. I can't really do math right now. We'll figure that out later. Thank you for watching. This was a very fun presentation to kind of talk about a very interesting topic for new beginners, intermediate beekeepers, advanced beekeepers all over the country. Thank y'all we're not going anywhere, so make sure y'all stay around. I plan to answer questions. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat because I will answer them. If y'all have any. All right, let me go back and see if there's any comments that I missed. Hey, Tim and Hannah. I think they came in right whenever I was doing my presentation. James, thanks for checking in. James came right when I was doing my presentation as well. There you go. I think that's all the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm gonna kind of go through some stuff real quick. Make sure you click that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Share this out if y'all will. Let me go to what I was trying to do earlier. I was gonna look at my weather. And kind of put it up on the screen. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Give me just a second. Let's do the 10-day thing here. Just going to kind of go through some of the next couple of days here, and y'all can let me know what y'all temperatures are and kind of what's going on in y'all's area. Hey, Brian, thanks for checking in. Good to see you. So here, I'm going to pop it up on the screen in just a minute. I meant to kind of get this earlier. Just kind of a 7-day forecast, see kind of what our temperatures are going to be looking like. Where is this at? Glenwood. All right, good. Making sure it's in my area. Don't really want to give y'all false information. Oh man, let's see here. I'm gonna give an image file. There we go. Here's our forecast for the next couple of days. I think that's correct. 82 for the high. I wonder if they messed that up. I don't really know if that's correct. I mean, that's in our area. So today was the high was 70, Tuesday 75, Wednesday 78, this upcoming Thursday 80, Friday 81, Saturday 82, Sunday 80, Monday 62. I really don't know if this is correct because 80 down to 80 for high on Sunday and then 62 on Monday. Anyway, I usually have these things ready, but I'm not really sure if that's 100% correct. But if it is, have some warm temperatures. But anyway, it's been really, really nice the past couple of days. Not really sure if that is factual, but I mean, I'll do another one next week. 49 degrees in Indiana, so it's pretty cold in y'all's area. I mean, today was a super, super, super nice day today. It's been a very nice day for the past couple of days, and there's actually been some times where the bees were kind of clustered up a little bit, not because we've been down into the 40s at night, so I think the low 40s and the mid 40s, so that's the bees will cluster at that temperature, just not as compact. So I actually went out there whenever it was kind of cold in the morning, went through colonies just to kind of get an idea if they're clustering, and they are clustering, but they're just not as compact. During colder temperatures, 32, 35, even the high 30s, in the high 20s, you'll see them more compact once it gets colder. But they start clustering around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Not really sure what that is in Celsius. $54 for your high, and I'm guessing $37 for your low. Yep, it's getting more into wintertime. That is for sure. Before we know it, we're going to be in that time of year where it's nothing to do. I mean, even really right now, there's not really a whole lot to do. So I am going to go through some of what's going on. So right now, all my colonies are well fed. I mean, the goldenrod flow did its thing. I mean, I really don't have to feed anything else, I don't believe, because I mean, the goldenrod flow did really, really what I needed to do. If y'all saw one of my videos, I mean, they had a whole bunch of honey in there, and probably looked like they had a little bit too much in there. But I mean, hey, more the merrier, right? But I probably won't need to do a whole lot of syrup feeding. I plan to go out tomorrow. I have not been out in the bee yard, and I haven't really been inspecting bees for about a week and a half. Haven't really done a whole lot out there. Kind of been leaving them alone. But I plan to go out there once we have a nice warm day where it's nice to inspect, kind of go through some colonies and kind of check and see kind of what's going on. Make sure they have enough food, double check, make sure I know, make sure everything I checked before, make sure they didn't go through it quickly, because whenever we get into these up and down temperatures, they're going to blow through it. So one time I might see where it's really a lot of honey in there, and 1 second they look like they're about to starve. So that's one big problem we face, but you just got to kind of deal with it and adapt to it, which I can. If y'all have any questions in there, feel free to put them in the chat. We got about 30 more minutes of the live stream tonight. Make sure to smash that thumbs up button, and that helps out the channel. Also, by the way, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my email newsletter. I'm sure most of you who are watching have subscribed to it. I appreciate you. That email newsletter is used for sending out notifications for my live streams and live stream updates, giveaway updates, all the things that you kind of want to know. If I plan to do a giveaway. Let's see, how many subscribers am I at right now? I have 2,670 subscribers, so that's going to be 300. Wow, that's not too much away. I am 330 subscribers away from 3,000, which is I probably won't get there at the end of the year because we're already getting close to the end of the year already. I mean, crazy how time flies. But I hope to get there soon, and when I get there, I plan to do a live stream and do some giveaways and stuff. I think it'll be fun. So make sure you kind of keep an eye out. Make sure to subscribe to the email newsletter because right whenever I hit 3,000 subscribers, I will put out a email newsletter right away, kind of mentioning the details and the time before I announce it on my YouTube channel. Once I reach 3,000 subscribers, which I'm not really that far off. Hey, Gary, our T23Bs, thanks for checking in tonight. Already got done with my topic for tonight. If y'all are kind of checking in a little bit late, y'all can always go back and go ahead and rewatch it later on if y'all want to rewatch if you missed it. Basically what the topic was hive styles: Langstroth, Warre, top bar hive, flow hives, all the above that are worth mentioning. And I did forget a couple. I don't think I missed a whole lot, but you always miss some of them. Amazing. And then also, like I mentioned it during my presentation, I want to do a video where each hive style, I go deep into it, like the history of it. That actually might be a really fun video to do, like during this winter time where there's nothing to do, nothing to talk about. I wonder if y'all would be interested in like a video kind of deep diving into the history of each hive, because there is history behind it. There's history in all the beekeeping equipment, especially Langstroth hives, Warre hives. Those are the two biggest from, I believe, the 1800s, where you'd have these hives. You'd have L.L. Langstroth, who created the Langstroth hive, which is used now the ideal hive for every beekeeper, and most beekeepers use the Langstroth hive. The Warre hive. What was his name? I think it was a French man, Warre. So Warre, I believe it was a French guy, a French person, a French man who created the Warre hive. So I think it'd be a fun video, a series. Let's call it a series, whatever you want to call it, where I kind of deep dive into the history of the hive, of these hives, and kind of how they are now. I think that would be really fun. I plan, and that kind of gives, in kind of going through this hive styles, I think that might be a very, very interesting topic, of the history. So that's probably going to be some videos coming up. So make sure to watch out for it. Y'all might find it kind of interesting because, look, that's really not designed for beginner beekeepers. It's designed for every beekeeper, really. The Unlikely Beekeeper. Hi, Grayson. Thanks for joining in tonight. I appreciate you. If y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in there, whether it be questions about the topic tonight or others. I'll answer them. Also, we have 18 folks in here tonight. That's a good amount on here for my live stream. So thank y'all for joining in. Make sure, if y'all haven't already, make sure to check. Make sure y'all click that thumbs up button. Clicking that thumbs up button helps the live stream out. And I really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all joining in. I do kind of want to start where my presentations are a little bit longer, because sometimes I do end at around 30 minutes, and then I find myself trying to find other things to talk about in the second half of the live streams. So, might try to find a way to make them a little bit longer. I actually had one presentation last year, and man, it took the whole 1 hour to finish it, and it was past the hour, and I still wasn't done with it. So I've made some longer ones in the past. I'll probably do that more. Anything else? Any updates? I don't think there's anything else really. I really have for my apiary. My apiary. If y'all are curious, that's right, because I really haven't been doing any vlogging videos, so y'all probably have really no idea what's going on right now. So basically, right now, I have 13 colonies. 13 of them. All of them are still doing well. I mean, still at the same number I was going into fall. So, I mean, I got up to 13 in like summer and still at 13. So that's pretty good. And all of them have queens. All of them are pretty healthy. All of them have a good amount of bees in there. Numbers are really good. Couldn't be happier with the numbers, and they're strong. I treated half of them. I still need to get some treatments for the other half. I still have a little bit of time to do that. I treated most of them with Apivar. Hey, Tom and Melissa. Hey, Grayson. How are you, buddy? I'm doing well. Not really a whole lot going around here. I mean, I'm just trying to find things to talk about. You know what I mean? You know, this time of the year, and really not a whole lot going on in my neck of the woods. I mean, haven't really inspected colonies recently. I do need to get out there. Every day I've been mentioning to myself I need to get out to the bee yard, but something comes up that I end up forgetting to go out there and do anything about what I out in the bee yard. So 13 colonies, all doing well. Oh, that's one thing I did want to mention. I almost forgot. My honey extraction, I mentioned that a lot of times in my videos that I was going to do it the weekend before last, and I actually started the extraction. And right when I got started, I extracted about one super, and right when I was kind of finishing up on the last super, kind of going into the second super, the inside of my extractor, the what do you call it? Man, I already forgot. A piece in the extractor. It's a red piece. Y'all probably know what the name is, and I know what the name is. I just can't really remember what it's called. But it broke. Couldn't use it no more, and that really ended the extraction. But I did get some. Honey, but I really only got 1 gallon of honey. It's okay. I mean, it's really not really. It's okay. I mean, 1 gallon ain't bad. Enough to fill some bottles. Probably not going to sell a whole lot. So kind of, I see Tom and Melissa have a question. Grayson, what are your goals for this next year? So the name of that part I was talking about was a coupling inside the extractor, where the inside thing that spins the frames connects to the parts, the little inside part, the coupling. So when you're talking about what are your goals for this next year? I've actually already kind of been thinking about that. I always try to plan ahead for next year. First off, I kind of want to get these bees through winter. Get these bees next year. Hopefully, come out with about 10 colonies. This year I actually tripled. I had 4, went to 13. I really mentioned this whole thing last year. Not last year. Last week when I did my live stream the week before last, because I took off last week. I plan. I really want to do that next year, triple again, and I know I can. I had 4 colonies, and I basically tripled with 2, and the other 2 I didn't do anything with. And I also caught some swarms. I caught 2 swarms. I think that's about right. 2 swarms, yeah. 2 swarms. So I tripled. I got up to 7. No, that's not really right. I believe I got 2 swarms. I caught one off the trailer, and then I got one in my swarm trap. And I actually caught another one, but it right when I brought it back to the bee yard, it left. So I keep on forgetting whenever I'm doing catching these bees is to put it excluder. Many people have mentioned it in my videos to at least give it a try. Sometimes the queen will still find a way out and the bees will leave anyway, but I need to try that next time. So next year probably gonna triple again. I tripled this year, like I said. I did basically what I did was I had 4 splits from one colony. 4 splits from one colony, and then got up to what would the math be? Around 8, 2 swarms. I did 2 batches of them, so up to 13. And then next year, I can do the same thing as long as I can get about 8 to 10 colonies out of winter. I can take 3, 4 colonies if they're all strong. Give them double deeps, and then what I do is I do 5 frame splits, and that will make 4 out of 1. So that's kind of the goal. Next year is really just going to be expand again. This year was just kind of putting some foundation for next year. Last year was putting foundation for this year, and kind of going to do the same thing I did this year. Pretty much, it's just going to expand again. Going to hope to have a very smooth winter. I kind of want to hopefully bring them all through winter, but I'll lose some. That happens every year. I mean, it's just kind of the way of it. But I just kind of want to keep as many alive as I possibly can. So my goal actually is really to come out with about 10. And not sure if I'm going to do extraction next year, extracting honey or anything like that. We'll see. It just depends on whenever that time gets here. We always verbalize our goals and then put them on paper. We then discuss exactly what we need to do to reach our goals. This helps us put things in perspective. That's a great way of getting your goals right. The way I put my goals really together is I don't try to overdo things. Like if I don't do things if I don't have I guess you could say the experience to do so, but I would say more of this year I didn't do queen rearing because I didn't have enough bees to do queen rearing, and I kind of had a main focus. I didn't really want my main problem a couple times was I kind of did too much stuff at one time and kind of got stressed over it, so couldn't really manage a whole lot of things. So what I've been doing this year, next year, which worked this year, is kind of focus on one thing. And then it's really the main thing for me is just expanding, growing my colonies. And then once I expand to the number I want to, and then that's where I'm kind of planning to kind of start kind of not going up anymore and kind of just staying flat, kind of as a flat line, and then doing my extractions and maybe start some queen rearing. I have everything I need to do queen rearing. It's just I'm not really where I'm at, where I really want to do queen rearing just yet. Hey, Philip RTX Honeybees from Texas. Keith Spillman, half tracks and honeybees. Hey, Grayson, Lee, Philip, Via, Sarah, Russell, and Gunline. Thanks for checking in, Keith and Philip. If y'all would make sure to click that thumbs up button. It helps me out a lot. I guess we got about 12 minutes on here, so we're going to get close to wrapping this thing up, but if you have any more questions in there, feel free to put them in there. I'll answer some late ones, and then we'll kind of get close to wrapping it up. So this week, kind of an outline of what I kind of want to do in the next couple of days. This week is going to be get out to the bee yard, and I want to try to inspect some colonies. I just kind of want to go over some things, make sure things are good, make sure they're prepared for winter. That's really about all for this weekend. Just wanted this week, kind of just wanted to get into some colonies and see kind of what they're doing. Kind of see if I need to feed, because if I need to put some sugar syrup on there, I'm going to immediately start doing that. I still have a bag of sugar, and if I see they're kind of low, I might start doing that. But most of my colonies, for the most part, are stacked. They don't need any more sugar syrup. I actually fed one of my nukes, and they got stored up pretty quickly. And then over winter this year, I'm going to try some of that Hive Alive fondant, some of the fondant of the pollen patties that they sent out to me, because they sent some stuff out for me to try out. So I think over winter I'm gonna try some of that out and video it, because I really appreciate them sending it out for free, shipping it out from their spot here in the United States, because they're actually Hive Life is actually their founder, Dara Scott, is actually in Ireland, and I actually had the opportunity to speak with him a couple weeks ago. No, it was a month ago, and pretty good guy, and I appreciate Hive Life for sending that out. But he's in Ireland, so that's pretty cool, and they have a little thing here in the United States. Grayson, are you coming to Louisville, Kentucky for? I'm pretty sure you're talking about the expo. Not really 100%. Excuse me, I'm eating on my own words. Not really 100% sure. It just really depends. I mean, not really sure really at the moment. If not this year, I want to try to get up there and see kind of how it is in the next couple of times when they do it. I hear it's a really good time and really fun. And if I don't, if we don't go, I'll probably watch a lot of beekeepers, kind of see what what they're doing, kind of what's going on. Good chat, Grayson. Have a restful night, everyone. Thank you for joining in tonight. I appreciate you, and hope you have a good night too. Here come a whole set of new regulations for keeping bees. I saw something today about regulations. I think there's been a whole a conversation here about regulations. I kind of missed some of it, so I um can't really read all the comments. I saw a video today, something about, I don't know what I think Pennsylvania, some new regulations or something. I really didn't get the chance to watch the whole video, but I mean, no, I think most beekeepers, I guess in that area in Pennsylvania didn't really didn't really like the new regulations. I need to watch that video again. I didn't really get the time to really watch the whole thing. I'll have to watch that later. If you happen to come to the North American Honeybee Expo, reach out to Melissa and I. We can get Philip to buy us all dinner while we're out there. For sure. I'll if we end up if we happen to come, for sure. 21st B. Thanks for checking in. The infinity frame. You know what? I need to get I need to try some of those infinity frames. I think next year. I need to get some new equipment. That's actually one thing over winter is I'm probably going to build equipment, maybe buy some equipment, but mainly build equipment. I like to build equipment. Boxes. I wouldn't say I'm the best at it, but I really enjoy it, and I'm decent at it. I can get it done pretty good. So I'm probably just gonna build the equipment. I think that's probably a little bit cheaper than buying the boxes. I would think. I can just look at the prices, and if it's cheaper buying the boxes off of somewhere else, I'll just buy the boxes. But if it's cheaper to build them, I'll build them because it's really, I really enjoy it, and it use the boxes for my bees. Oh, that's a good question. Do you mark your queens? Not really. I really don't mark my queens. I probably should. I know many beekeepers mark their queens, and I am just one who doesn't. I have all the equipment to do so. I have different equipment pieces that you can cage her in, and I don't have it around here. It's actually outside of my beekeeping box, but I don't mark my queens. I can just kind of spot them. I think the main reason why I would mark queens, I wouldn't mark queens because I can't find them, because I can find the queens without them being marked. But would probably be so you would know if they swarmed or not. That's the main reason why I would, do would mark the queens. So so my queens have black dots. Oh, yep, my queens have black dots too. I mean, the infinity frames last longer than forever. Yep. Um, that's why I want to get them because I was talking with 21st B, a little bit on the chat before, and I think I want to try them out. I've heard a lot of good things about them, so we're going to try to order some next year. Not a whole lot, just maybe 10 of them for a hive and kind of see how they do. Just want to try them out. I'm pretty sure they'll work good. Then I could slowly work them in because those probably last longer than the wooden ones because I have a lot of wooden ones that rot out quick. The North American Honeybee Expo does have some crazy cheap box specials. Don't know how people are making a profits at some of those crazy low prices. You know what I've always thought about that too? Um, there's a whole bunch of low prices. I actually went to the Hive Live the last time they had that. Still at that time it was still ran by Cayman and company, but a lot of cheap prices, and I really don't know how they make money off of that. I I would think that they are, I guess, buying their wood in bulk. I mean, that's the only thing I could really see. Um, but Grayson, 21st B Infinity frames are extremely duty and probably bulletproof. Yep, I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I do want to try them out because a lot of my frames that I have, they break quickly because here's what happens all the time. I'm lifting frames, they're propolis down, and then all of a sudden they snap, and then there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to throw it away, you know. Philip says, I mark unmarked queens in the spring with the previous year's color, and I mark the ones I raise. Any queen I find after April swarm season doesn't get marked. I get you. I don't mark queens at all. I might start next year. Like I said, the only reason why I'd mark queens, I can easily find them without a mark on them. A big reason why a lot of beginners mark them is so they can find the queen. But so but it'd be good to, you don't have to. I mean, it really doesn't matter. But I mean, some if you're that person who wants to keep up with which queen it is, what year that queen was from, and if it was last year's queen or a swarm or maybe the queen swarmed and maybe that's a new queen that you if there was unmarked to begin with, you would have no idea. But as long as they have a mated queen, I mean, as long as my colony has a mated queen and she's laying well and healthy and not a bad adult queen, I mean, that's really all I really need. I don't, and if she's felon, then time to go. Well, I guess we're already 58 minutes and 17 seconds in. Thank y'all all so much for joining in tonight. Now, before y'all leave, make sure to click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, share this live stream out if you want to. Make sure to smash that like because if you click that like, it really does help the channel out. I really appreciate y'all. Tonight's topic, beekeeping hive styles was really good. So if y'all missed the first half of this video, I really do recommend y'all go back and watch the rest of it because it was really good. And I enjoyed y'all's company, and thank y'all for watching and accompanying me on this wonderful Monday night. So I'm pretty sure I'll probably go live next week. I'll let you know if I do, if I don't. And watch out for some future videos and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm kind of switching off from vlog videos. There's nothing really going on. I'm going to kind of switch to teaching videos and stuff like that. And also, like I mentioned, I might try some hive styles, kind of like I mentioned today, but each hive in its own long video where I kind of talk about the history and stuff. I'm going to do a lot of research and make that happen, like I mentioned earlier. So anyway, don't mean to drag it out long. Again, I appreciate y'all. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will catch y'all next time.